So hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 15 of season 2 here on our Andretti F1 Manager 23 save. Now if you didn't watch the last episode, go back and watch that one in Zandvoort, because that was a very decent Grand Prix. It had absolutely everything, red flags, strategy gambles, you name it. We had it. Max Verstappen getting the win. The two Ferraris of Leclerc and Sainz in P2 and 3. There was a chance for P4 for us at one point with Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon had the worst timing with a safety car ever and had to battle back. But battle back he did, maybe securing his position for next season. But it's still all up in the air. We don't even know where I will be this time next season. If we have a look at the standings and the constructors, Red Bull are leading the way on 573 points. We are in P5 on 74. Drivers standings wise, Max Verstappen leading the way. You guessed it, didn't you? By 80 odd points from Checo Perez. P9 and 10 is where you find Gasly and Ocon for both Andretti Cadillac cars. A quick look at the F2. We've got Clement Novalak still leading at the moment on 285 points. And in F3, Taylor Barnard is doing the business at this moment in time. 80 points in front, near enough as well from Christian Mansell at Trident. This weekend, we head to Monza, the Temple of Speedy. I love the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. It's the Grand Prix I'd like to go to myself, so nearly did this year. 100% historic safety car chance. We are expecting it to be sunny on race day. We might get a little bit of rain on Friday practice, but apart from that, it's all looking rather good. Car attributes, top speed and acceleration, massively important here. We do have a little bit of a disadvantage with our engine in that case, so we're going to have to see what we can do here. Expected strategy is a one-stop from soft onto medium or medium onto hard, depending on your tyre wear. And last season, I haven't got the data who won this last season. Very strange indeed, but there we go. So we are going to Monza this weekend. I'm going to get through practice, and I shall see you in qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix. This is it then, final laps in Q2. Ocon is green through the first and second sectors. It's fair to say Pierre Gasly has not had the best of second laps, but can Esteban Ocon get in to Q3? Esteban Ocon goes fourth fastest in the Andretti Cadillac. What a result that is, and what a lap that is from Esteban Ocon.
Sorry, mate,
I can't believe that lap from Esteban Ocon. My word, that is an amazing lap. Gasly's out in Q2 in P14, not getting the lap in. He's got more pace than that. Verstappen is out in Q2, as is Lewis Hamilton, but Esteban Ocon just put it on P4 and will be in Q3. My word. Esteban Ocon coming round the final corner in Q3. Can he replicate that Q2 lap? If he can, we've got a chance of being on pole position with the grid penalties on the grid today. Esteban Ocon crosses the line. It's only good enough for sixth fastest. And if we have a look, it is going to be sixth fastest. But I think there's a couple of grid penalties in front of him. Lando Norris and Checo Perez will get a 5th-place grid penalty. So he may move up a position. So a decent starting point for Esteban Ocon. But my word, we are in a decent position for Sunday. Let's get to the strategies. Right then, guys. So, strategies. And both cars have got a set of new soft compound tyres and a set of fresh mediums as well. So, it makes sense to go for this. I don't think the two stops necessary or the medium onto hard. I reckon we may as well go on the softs, then onto the mediums. Both cars, we've took the fuel out once again. It worked for us last time. Ocon starting P4, Gasly starting P11. This has got all the makings of a fantastic weekend for Andretti Cadillac. Let's get to 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix.
All 10 teams are now getting set up as the drivers prepare to face the 53 laps of the Italian Grand Prix. And plenty of people watching on will be keen to follow Fernando Alonso's progress.
14th isn't the grid position they'd be expecting here. They need to recover a lot of positions.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. Here we go. It's the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out. And away we
go, and we are watching the guys at the front this time for a change, because Leclerc and Stroll gets away well, but so does Esteban Ocon. And will Esteban Ocon go for a move early doors here into turn 1? He won't. He's going to hopefully keep P4. He's got Oscar Piastri next to him in the McLaren. He actually loses position into P5. Pierre Gasly stays in P11 on the soft compound tyre. We've got a fair few cars on the soft compound tyre, including us, Leclerc, Russell and Hülkenberg. are the guys on the medium tyres. But early doors, Ocon in P5, Stroll P1, Leclerc P2, Sainz. We could do with getting back at Oscar Piastri if we possibly can. We're attacking on the tyres at this moment and pushing on the fuel for the first couple of laps, then we will settle into it. It's quite a thirsty track here on the fuel, so we've got to be wary of that. We don't want to run out at the end. Lap 1. Join us back. The Red Bulls are making their way through the pack, and Checo Perez is the first one to join it. And at the front, he's managed to get past Esteban Ocon, getting the job done into the Parabolica. Fair play to Checo Perez. That's a decent little overtake from him. And he's up, and we've now got Verstappen behind us. We are now the meat in a Red Bull sandwich at the front as we just switch that to neutral on both cars. As we look at the front now, we've got Stroll leading the way from Leclerc and Sainz, Piastri in P4, Perez in P5. Then comes Ocon, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Russell and Hamilton. Gasly is on the back of both Mercedes at this moment in time. But we are cautious on the fuel a little bit at this moment. But Esteban Ocon, early doors here in P6, keeping up rather nicely with the front-running pack. Lap 9, Pierre Gasly getting past the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. I genuinely think we could possibly beat the Mercedes in this year's championship, it must be said. But that's a lovely move from Pierre Gasly. And now he's looking at George Russell and this Haas of Nico Hülkenberg. There's certainly his points on the cards for the Andretti Cadillacs today. Esteban Ocon is still looking at the back of the McLaren, of Oscar Piastri. We've got Perez in P4, Sainz P3, then comes Stroll and Leclerc. But Pierre Gasly making his way through nicely, but he needs to get to the front of this pack. We may even change strategy with Pierre if we see fit. Lap 9, Stroll still leading, but Leclerc is battling him all the way. Pierre Gasly again making moves, getting past Nico Hülkenberg into the first chicane. George Russell had already got the job done. We can see, I believe that's Lando Norris fighting with Lewis Hamilton in an all-British fight there. But now Pierre Gasly will be looking to get on the back of George Russell, and I believe we're faster than George Russell in these Mercedes today. Meanwhile, Esteban Ocon is just running in this DRS train at the moment, and it is suiting him rather well. We are going to start saving a bit of fuel with Esteban Ocon in a little moment or two, but he can see these guys in front of him. There is no reason why Esteban Ocon couldn't finish on a podium today, lap 11. And you know when I said I thought that we could beat the Mercedes today? Well, Pierre Gasly is showing that we possibly could. Getting past George Russell beautifully. There we go, have a bit of that sunshine. Forces him wide, and that is beautiful driving once again from, it's got to be said, probably my favourite driver out of the two. I'm not meant to have favourites, but I have got one in Pierre Gasly, but that's probably down to the previous F1 manager. But Esteban Ocon is tagging onto the back of this leading pack beautifully. We've got an incident on circuit. Is that going to prompt a safety car? Let's have a little look at this. It's involving Lando Norris, and this may be behind Pierre Gasly. Let's have a little look at this. They do collide, and that is going to help Pierre Gasly no end. Heavy breathing from Lando Norris. I'm wondering if Lando Norris has got damage. Let's have a little look at this. Lando Norris on his front wing. He's got massive damage on his front wing. That is going to aid Pierre Gasly no end, because now we can push on these tyres. We're staying on standard purely because we are making them last, and Lando Norris looks as though he is retiring from this Grand Prix, and in the meantime causing up a big traffic jam behind us as well. But Esteban Ocon now conserving fuel. We are behind Sainz. I reckon we may pit when these guys in front of us pit, just to keep with this leading pack with Esteban Ocon. But Pierre Gasly definitely could go onto the mediums and spring a surprise here. Lap 12. The inevitable has finally happened. Max Verstappen has managed to get past Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon been doing okay. Piastri seems to have slowed. We got caught out of position, and Verstappen managed to negotiate past us. But hopefully we can stay in the battle with this, because Esteban's doing okay at this moment in time. Still only 6 tenths behind. Getting the DRS, it's working well. We can actually stop worrying about the fuel for a little bit here. But Esteban Ocon doing okay. Verstappen, though, now starting to make moves. Lap 15. Right, ladies and gents, we are going to be going for an undercut with Esteban Ocon. We're going to get onto the hard compounder tyre. We were planning on going on the mediums. We're going to split the strategy a little bit. And Esteban Ocon is going to be coming in at this lap. This gaggle of cars in front of us, I'm not too concerned about. I'd like to get out onto some hard compounder tyres. I'm hoping nobody in these front cars are coming in. In fact, there is a couple coming in. Verstappen is the man coming in. We followed Max Verstappen, the reigning world champion, into the pits, on to the hard compounder tyre. Verstappen looks like he's got a slow stop here, Max Verstappen. Esteban Ocon has got a decent stop, and we have jumped Max Verstappen in the pit lane. What about that then? That is something pretty special from our team. That I'm really chuffed with that. We jump Max Verstappen in the pit lane. We come out on the hard compound tyres. I'm hoping we come out in clean air, which we certainly do. This can only aid us now with Esteban Ocon. We are going to attack on the tyres and really attack now for this outlap, because I reckon the undercut is on. Pierre Gasly is still battling away with Fernando Alonso, but Pierre Gasly is going on to the mediums later on. So lap 19, Ocon is on the undercut. Right then, guys, Checo Perez is into the pits on lap 20. Let's have a little look at where these come out here. Perez for the Red Bull side. It's another slow stop from the Red Bulls. What on earth are they doing? Gasly's up into P3. Where is Esteban Ocon and Max Verstappen? They're coming down round the Parabolica. Perez has had a bad pit stop. Piastri looks like he's been held a bit. Are we going to manage to overtake these cars in front of us? Has the gamble paid off for us here? We're coming down the pit straight. Where is Checo Perez coming out on to the start-finish straight? We can see Verstappen and Ocon behind. We have managed to jump Oscar Piastri, but not quite got Checo Perez. But meanwhile, Pierre Gasly now in P3. He's going to be coming in a few laps' time. Lap 21. We've got a lock up for Lance Stroll. Let's have a little look at this. Lance Stroll running in a P4, locking up into turn 1. That's cost him a position. And Lance Stroll's not going to be very happy with that. I'm looking where our guy is. Esteban Ocon there, still in front of Max Verstappen, you will notice. But now Esteban Ocon within the DRS of Daniel Ricciardo, who's in the DRS of Checo Perez. We are pulling ourselves right back into contention here with Esteban Ocon, and we are going to tell him now he's got to be aggressive on this overtake. He needs to get the move done on the Hugo Boss of Daniel Ricciardo. Let's have a look and see if he can get this done. He's not going to get it done into here. I would rather him not, if I'm honest, get it done into the Parabolica. But let's have a look what happens here. Esteban Ocon, is he going to get DRS on the start-finish straight? I think he certainly is, you know. Esteban Ocon could be playing this absolutely beautifully. The Hugo Boss is Daniel Ricciardo coming around the Parabolica. It's slowing us down a little bit. But there goes Carlos Sainz, has had a pit stop issue. It's all going on here. And he does get DRS, does Esteban Ocon. We can now turn off the overtake aggression. And we are now up into P4. Leclerc is yet to pit. Pierre Gasly's yet to pit. But remember, Pierre Gasly is going onto the medium compounded tyre. There's a lot to play for here in Monza. And probably the inevitable has happened. Max Verstappen has finally got past Esteban Ocon. We expected it. He's got it done well. But hopefully now Max Verstappen might just pull us up towards his teammate, because we are not that bad on pace today at all, especially with Esteban Ocon. Job done for Max Verstappen. Esteban Ocon now, the plan is to stay in the DRS, and look at that. It's almost as though we know what we're doing. Pierre Gasly on the other hand, just conserving tyres. He's going to be in on the next lap. Pierre Gasly into the pits on lap 25. He's going onto that medium compound tyre. It's not a bad stop again, just under 3 seconds. For our team, we can see Piastri, Alonso, Lance Stroll. I'm guessing we're going to come out just behind Carlos Sainz, but we are on the faster tyre now. Esteban Ocon is still fighting with Max Verstappen. This is for a podium, ladies and gentlemen. So we're just getting the fuel in order, and we know by the end of this race we could be in a position. Pierre Gasly has actually come out behind Hamilton and Hülkenberg, which is not ideal. But at the moment, Pierre Gasly now can push on these tyres, attack on these, and for the next couple of laps, we'll just go balanced on the fuel. But Ocon is doing a fantastic job of managing Max Verstappen. Halfway through the race, Ocon is in the podium positions. Lap 27, Charles Leclerc has pit onto a set of fresh hard compounded tyres. Esteban Ocon is now fighting for P2 with Max Verstappen and just about staying in touching distance with the Dutch driver. It's working okay at this moment in time, as we can see that DRS wide open. Let's just have a look how much he gains down this straight, and it's working a charm for Esteban Ocon this. He's keeping away from Fernando Alonso as well. It's working a charm. If we can use the pace of Max Verstappen here, we are going to be absolutely laughing. Lap 27, Ocon's there. Gasly has got to negotiate traffic here, but he should be able to do it. The tyres are now up to temperature. Pierre Gasly has got to get a shift on. And get a shift on he is doing, because here we go. Pierre Gasly getting past Zhou Guanyu in the Williams in that Gulf livery. And now he's got a Haas to overtake and the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. This is big for the constructors standings as well. And as we can see him just pulling out to the right hand side there. And now going through the parabolica. Here comes Pierre Gasly down the start-finish straight. Is he going to be able to make a move into the first chicane? Ocon and Verstappen are just exchanging places at this moment in time, both on the same tyre wear. Let's have a look. Will he go for a move here, Esteban Ocon? Not quite, but Pierre Gasly, but Esteban Ocon has just overtaken Verstappen, and he's back in front of the Red Bull. Pierre Gasly has overtaken Lewis Hamilton. Let's have a look at this. Is this going to be a double overtake from Pierre Gasly? It certainly is. What a move from Pierre Gasly. Oh, into P9. Beautiful work from Pierre Gasly, the Frenchman. He's now up into P9, and I'm hoping he's already dropping Hamilton. And an absolute rate of knots is Pierre Gasly. Ocon's just lost the position to Verstappen, but these two exchanging DRS is not going to harm either of their races. Lap 31, all to play for. Lap 33, again, Ocon getting past Verstappen, but as you can see behind, we've brought you back because Leclerc and Alonso are joining the party. It's been a straight fight between Verstappen and Ocon at the moment. They've kept it clean, but now these two guys are joining the party, and if I'm not mistaken, they are on better tyres. Well, certainly Leclerc is. I reckon we can keep in position with Esteban Ocon. We are just recharging the battery a little bit as well, because we're going to need this at some point. We're still a little bit down on fuel with Esteban Ocon, but currently we are running P2 to Checo Perez. A podium could be on. It's going to all boil down to who has got the tyres, who has got the DRS, and who has got the battery charge at the right point in time. That's what all this boils down to. Pierre Gasly's just making sure he's going to be all right on fuel, but he can see in front of him Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri. I doubt he's going to be able to make up that gap, but P9's not bad for him today, especially with both Mercedes out of the points. But it's all riding on Esteban Ocon. Lap 34, Verstappen will probably overtake him down this straight. We'll just keep with it, because Max Verstappen is going to get DRS down here. We are just harvesting the battery a little bit. We're defending rather well, it must be said. And Max Verstappen isn't going to get past him here, or is he? Max Verstappen sitting in behind Esteban Ocon, defending very well, and just charging that battery up. It's as though we could get a podium today, ladies and gents. Let me know down in the comments now, if you're watching this now, are we going to get a podium with Esteban Ocon, or is Max Verstappen going to, or certainly Alonso and Leclerc, going to steal it from us? We could possibly lose positions down this start-finish straight. Let's have a little look at what happens here. We are still charging the battery. I would expect to see Verstappen get past us here, as Verstappen, we pull to the inside with Esteban Ocon, but Max Verstappen is coming like a train in that Red Bull. Alonso's following him through. We could lose a couple of positions here. What can Esteban Ocon do? He blocks off Fernando Alonso very, very aggressively, but he's topped up the battery beautifully. Lap 35. Getting incredibly tasty at the front here, and Leclerc and Alonso, Leclerc especially, his tyres are starting to really come to the fore now. And we are losing a couple of positions because Fernando Alonso in P, he's just overtaken us there into the parabolica. We are going to get DRS, but so is Fernando Alonso. We need to be second in this little train, and as we can see, Esteban Ocon now losing a position to Leclerc. Are we just running out of steam a little bit on these tyres? Remember, us and Verstappen boxed earlier, and here we go again. Look at this. There's 4 cars with DRS. We're keeping out of the way of Lance Stroll, who shouldn't be that much of a threat, I would suggest. But Esteban Ocon doing okay, but now down to P5. Our hopes of the podium fading? I would hope not. 10 laps to go, and it's getting a little bit squeaky bum time. And we are just trying to plan out the rest of this race here, because we know we're all right on fuel now. That's the big thing. We don't want to be running out of fuel. We've done okay. We've got ourselves to this position. I need to top up the ERS. Verstappen's just losing touch a little bit with Leclerc at the moment, but we're just tagging onto the back. I need to top up the ERS, which we're going to do. If we can stay in this DRS train, which we are doing at the moment, top up the ERS, and then get the battery practically charged. If we can do that, then we may have an opportunity of getting a podium into the last few laps. But at the moment, Perez leads from Alonso. Perez has got this to lose. Alonso's in P2, Leclerc P3, Verstappen 4th. We're in 5th. Then comes Lance Stroll in P6. We're going to beat one Aston Martin today. We're going to beat one Ferrari today. But Pierre Gasly also He's pushing on beautifully, catching up to the back of Sainz and Piastri. Who knows what's on the cards for us, for Pierre Gasly today? But Esteban Ocon, the tactical games and the mind games are just beginning. 8 laps to go. And just to bring you up to date, we are close this battle is. Look at this. Leclerc, Alonso, Verstappen and Ocon absolutely going at it here. We're trying to manage tyre temps. We're trying to stay in DRS range. We are having to manage this so closely. Pierre Gasly, by the way, nearly on the back of Sainz and Piastri. But Esteban Ocon is looking at a decent... I mean, P5 would be a great result for us, by the way. But we're just keeping an eye on what's happening in front of us. Just making sure we're in that DRS. And we are going to get a chance at some point. It's just when we are going to get that chance. The tyres are a little bit hot at this moment in time. But just look at this now. As we keep an eye on Leclerc and Alonso battling it out at the front. Then comes Verstappen. Then comes Ocon. Ocon's possibly the outsider here. If you were a betting man, you wouldn't be betting on Esteban Ocon. But you just never know. 5 laps to go. And Gasly is now right on the back of Sainz and Piastri. I reckon Gasly could be on for some more points too. At 50, Charles Leclerc has lost touch with the 2 cars in front, and which he really shouldn't have done, to be fair. He's got the best tyres out of all of us. We're tagging onto the back of him now. We may get a chance to get P4. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly on the bike of Sainz and Piastri. He's been charging his battery up for a little while now. He's about to get very aggroed here at the back of these 2 cars, and Esteban Ocon may do the same, because Esteban is going to get a chance with these DRS zones to get past this Ferrari. I'd rather him not smash into the back of it and lose us completely, because P5 is going to be a big result for the team. But Pierre Gasly now is looking menacing in this Andretti. 3 laps to go. We need to get into the second in this train. I reckon we'll get it on the last lap, or will we get it now? Because Pierre Gasly is just going to have to sit in behind. This is going to be a grandstand finish. So this is it, ladies and gents. Last lap of the Grand Prix. We're just coming onto it. Perez is on the final lap, as is Verstappen, who's fighting with Alonso. There's a battle going on here. And this is the battle for the P4. Ocon versus Leclerc. And Gasly's overtaken Sainz. We're going to come to that now. In fact, we've got to catch that now before it goes off the screen. Here is Pierre Gasly overtaking Carlos Sainz. Beautiful work from him. And now he's just got that McLaren of Oscar Piastri to get past 4P7. He looks like he's already well on his way to getting past it. As we chop back to the live action, Ocon is going to get one more DRS straight that he may just have to defend. But there goes Esteban Ocon up into P4. It's fantastic work from him. He can now push on the tyres. Pierre Gasly a little bit less so. He's going to get a chance in this final lap to get past Oscar Piastri. It's going to be one hell of a final lap here, and we are going to ride on board straight away with Esteban Ocon. He's going to have a DRS straight that he's got to defend. He can push on the fuel. He can deploy on the ERS. He's got a lot of opportunities to defend. Pierre Gasly likewise can push on the fuel and can also deploy on the ERS. This is it. It all comes down to this. And we're going to tell him, be aggressive on the defending as well. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly has got to be aggressive on the attacking. But Esteban Ocon rounds that corner. He's going to be in front going onto the final straight. But will Charles Leclerc manage to get him? Pierre Gasly looks like he's getting the job done as well. As we see Esteban Ocon rounding the final corner through Parabolica. Esteban Ocon, he's going to get P4 for Andretti Cadillac. And here comes Pierre Gasly. He's also going to get a good points position today. He's going to get P7. Pierre Gasly, don't run out of fuel. Do not run out of fuel. Conserve.
That was pretty quick, to be fair.
And he looks like he's just about going to do it. And he does. Pierre Gasly, P7. My word, I thought we were going to run out of fuel there at the end. It's P4. It's P7. God, we were close to a podium there. Charles Leclerc losing that DRS probably helped us get to P4. But my word, what a race. Let's get to the podium.
Now that's an excellent drive today from Esteban Ocon.
I tell you what, they had to work hard for those points today. What a phenomenal achievement that is.
Well, they've been waiting for this, haven't they? And it's only right that they make the most of it. No stranger to the podium, the Mexican driver now takes his place after another remarkable race.
What an excellent way to take a second win of the season with a composed performance today.
And that, right there, is a picture-perfect end to this weekend in Monza.
It's got to be said, that is possibly one of the best races we've had in this F1 Manager series so far. Esteban Ocon getting P4, Pierre Gasly gaining 4 positions for P7. We split the strategies. I don't think we got much wrong there, ladies and gents. Perez winning, obviously, in P8. Gaining 8 positions. Max Verstappen P2. Alonso gaining 11 positions. That's got to be driver of the day. But Esteban Ocon gets a P4 finish. Let's just have a look at the driver standings. Max Verstappen, he's on 346 points. He's 75 in front of his teammate Checo Perez, who gains on him this weekend. Alonso up to P3 in the driver standings, and Esteban Ocon, them 12 points, take him above his teammate Pierre Gasly into P9. Constructor standings. Do we start looking at Mercedes rather than Williams? We're driving well at the moment. The car's improving. We're improving as a team principal. Red Bull still lead the way from Aston Martin, but let me know down in the comments, can we catch Mercedes? And of course, thank you for all your comments in recent videos. Very much appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the series as we are. We'll be back for the next one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra!